Have you ever seen a vegetarian zombie? They don't eat human brains, they eat cabbage. They can eat an acre of land in one sitting. Actually, they want to eat meat too. He's just too weak. No one's even afraid of him. Even the kids on the roadside could bully him. One day, Asang came to a remote mountain village. He tried to catch a big black dog but was chased by it. On the way, he met a beautiful girl, Xiaohua. Xiaohua is obviously not afraid of Asang. She thinks he's a pervert. She went up to him and gave him a kick. At that moment the big black dog rushed towards him. So the two were chased by the big black dog. At that moment, Xiaohua's second brother had just returned from the city, so he ran after him too. In the process of running away, Xiaohua fell down accidentally. Asang here felt that he could finally eat someone, but the next moment, the driver happened to be Xiaohua's elder brother. Asang got up in one piece. He finally saw how cruel humans can be. So he turned around and ran. He turned around and hid in the bathroom. He was found by Hannah's father. The old man thought he was a vagrant. He picked up a stick and beat him. Asang couldn't take it anymore. He finally got angry. He had only had a bite of his scalp. Without even tasting the meat, he ran away, cursing. The worst part was that it was a family that bullied him. At night, when he was so hungry, he sneaked into a warehouse and stole cabbages to eat. The old man outside heard a noise in the warehouse. When he opened it, he saw him eating his cabbage. The old man was so angry that he grabbed a shovel. He rushed up and beat him up. The older brother rushed up and kicked Sam away, but there was a steel nail in the wall. It went straight through his chest. The family were dumbfounded. They thought he was going to get his lunch, but then he moved. Everyone was so scared that they ran out of the room. Then they locked the warehouse. While everyone was still wondering, Asang was still wondering what it was. Second brother, who had just returned from the city, took out his mobile phone and played Busan Row. Only then did everyone realize that Sang was a zombie. Then they all looked at the old man.
얘들아, 나 어떻게 해?
The old man was locked into the caravan, but what happened next was far beyond their expectations. The next day the old man woke up. Everyone stared at him nervously. The old man's mouth suddenly opened wide. Not only did the old man not turn into a zombie, he was 20 years younger. His white hair turned black overnight. Even going to the toilet aroused the envy of the others. The old man was envied by the waterfall of water. To get younger, the old men in the village came to him with all their personal money. The old man thought to himself, I don't want the money for nothing. Then he made everyone line up. Put your hand in the other end of the warehouse. But what the old man didn't know how serious the consequences would be. A group of old men lined up to beg a zombie to bite them, because one bite will make you 20 years younger. They squeeze ketchup all over their customers' hands. It hurts a little, but it works like a charm. The next morning, their gray hair turns black overnight. Even old men with crippled legs. Even an old man with a crippled leg can stand on a 100-meter track. The old man who made the money was even better. With all his money, he ran off alone to Hawaii. His second brother took over his father's business. Under his leadership, the business grew and grew. The word got around. Even the old man from the next village rushed to get bitten. The family was overjoyed. After 10 years of running a petrol station, they didn't make as much money as they did in these few days. The family made a lot of money. To thank Asang, they gave him the latest caravan. They took him to the cabbage patch to eat as much as they wanted. They even gave him a new house to clean up. They treated him like family. But except for his second brother, he wanted to sell him to a pharmaceutical company. He wanted to make a fortune and leave. And Xiaohua heard all this, so he planned to send Asang away secretly. He prepared a basket of cabbages for him. He took him to the back of the hill to let him go. He told him to go and not to come back. But Asang stood still and watched Little Flower leave. On the other side, Air found that Asang had disappeared, so he searched all over the place. He finally found him in the back of the hill. He was still waiting for Xiaohua to take him home. He then brought Asang to the station, but as soon as he bought his ticket, he saw this scene. A man was biting a schoolgirl. The zombie had mutated. It turns out that the virus in Asang's body has a long incubator, and it's just about time for it to mutate. Those who were bitten were slowly mutating. On the other hand, everyone is attending Master Hu's wedding. The villagers are all gathered together. Many of them are lying in front of the air conditioner, blowing furiously because of the heat. And this is the sign of mutation. One minute it's a romantic wedding. The next moment the groom suddenly turns into a zombie, biting the bride with a vengeance. And the guests began to mutate. In an instant the wedding has become a zombie orgy. The outside world has fallen too. The streets are full of infected people. On the other side, the three men at the petrol station saw a large number of zombies surrounding them. They shut the windows and doors immediately. They fled back to the house, get all the equipment in the house, and wrapped their entire bodies, wrapped up tightly in pots and pans, prepared for battle. He thought to himself that his wife was pregnant. What if the zombies attack? What do you mean? The zombies soon arrive on the first floor. The three of them opened the window and climbed onto the roof to escape the walkers. They managed to move to the caravan. At that moment, a headlight came from far away. It caught everyone's attention. It was Ergo who had escaped from the station. He drove the car straight to the zombie area. Big Brother thought he was coming to save them, but he had no intention of picking them up. He just pulled out a bunch of fireworks. He shot at the zombies. In the end, Nothing happened to the zombies, but the fireworks in the car were set alight. The second brother was so frightened that he ran out of the car. A car full of fireworks was instantly set alight, turning the gas station into a fireworks display. And the huge light, and the sound of the explosion, attracted the attention of more zombies. They all started to flock to the gas station. On the other hand, in order to take care of their pregnant sister-in-law, the three of them, they couldn't just rush out, but if they didn't get out of there, the situation of the four of them will become worse and worse. At that moment, the second brother had an idea. He saw the steel cable on the ground, since the caravan couldn't be driven, but the minivan outside can be used. By attaching the cable to the van outside, they could just tow the caravan away. So the two brothers, disguised as walkers, they made it through the herd. They made it to the car. At that moment, the warehouse was flooded with zombies. Hannah stepped forward, with a weed whacker. He was ready to fight with the zombies, but the next moment, Hannah was pounced on by the zombies. He stepped forward at that very moment when his life was at stake. He managed to save Little Flower. At that moment, Ergo started the van, and Ah Sang closed the door to protect Xiaohua. He was going to hold off the zombies by himself. Second brother stepped on the gas. The four of them managed to escape, and Ah Sang lit the lighter in his hand, throwing it into the leftover gasoline. The car drove all night. The bitten elder brother also began to show mutation. The three of them rushed out of the car. At that moment there was a sudden noise from the tunnel. A man came out. It turned out to be their father who had returned from Hawaii. But he was the first one to be bitten. Why didn't he mutate? The three of them took a step back. It turns out that the old man is a mobile vaccine. At the end of the film, the family takes the surviving a funeral to become the vaccine vanguard, and the treatment is bizarre. And that's the end of the film.